So it seems like evil is the hot topic trending these days. And so I want to get right to that. This is a general public offering, and please share it all around. And specifically, this is a plea to the rap music community at large. Extra, extra large. So let me just tell you, I got you in my sights, and really, I'm coming after you. Not as a threat, though, but because I love rap, and I rather like you, and I would really love to see and hear rap flourish around the planet. So keep that in mind. People don't know when they're used by evil, at least not when initially infiltrated, after which it might be perceived as a no easy out situation. I know this because I was used by evil once, and I can't be really sure, but I am sure it's probable. Many years ago, I was performing a magic over a period of time, a month or so. All well intended. It involved a number of symbols, some of which I later discovered and realized could be understood with many, or at least one other meaning, which at a quantum level represents a source of power. There was not long after an occurrence of a worse than worse world event, which contained a matched set of symbols to some of mine. The positive energy I was imbuing into this ritual was likely subjugated, meaning compelled to submit and or to be enslaved by forces of evil, giving the dark side more strength to a very vile sabotage. And in no way am I saying I was a cause of that event. I did open a window, too dumb to realize, through which evil could also access and steal of my magic and flip it into the black with a K. It may have been forgiven, but I will tell you that it will never be forgotten. Half my life ago, I was often in the company of born psychics and was attempting to develop that skill, seeking knowledge. And at the time, more than one of those psychics told to me to be careful of what I was wishing, telling me that when that door is opened, it's opening to everything, and it's not good. It's not all good. And I gotta tell you, I really learned that the hard way. One night, caught by the grasp of the devil and danced under the pale moonlight. Yeah, pretty much just like the movie, you know. But it wasn't a joke. And I was completely terrorized and caught up in a struggle for my life. As unbelievable as that may sound, I really thought I was a goner. So here is a motto to listen by. Do never doubt me. My word is the sobering truth. So it is in heaven, it shall be on earth. What? What the hell does that mean? I want to speak about communication. I've been in some situations where I've learned a lot about miscommunication. I'm talking about the distant kind where all you're getting is the words, particularly where the context of tone and body is vacant, and all the usual cues we have for reading words spoken are empty of understanding of the language. Typical examples would be emails, texts, and most particularly tweets, which are often MP3'd and abbreviated, and as you may yourself have discovered, can lead to a very, very wrong impression. So, if we are sending out to those whom we do not know, let's say, intimately, as in very close association and familiarity. And in a language sense, there is no telling what people might be thinking and how they might react. Caution. And just as magic taught by angels was God originally prohibited, not all good, not all bad, magic itself is not a thing. It's not really just symbols or stuff like that. It's really rather like a synergy. It's the operating system, a form of language inside a context through which understanding happens. And as with all thoughts, words, which are symbols themselves, are streams of energy which translate into more thoughts and behaviors. I've been in situations where I've learned firsthand just how wrong and corrupt police and legal departments can be in the supposed names of truth and justice and law, and their influence on media. Kind of sounds like me do ya, don't you think? Media, me do ya. Exposure and opinion, and the falsely impregnated swags of emotion towards bias, prejudice, condemnation, hatred. When I was first starting out, I worked for several years as a commercial artist in the dog-eat-cat world of advertising. And I think most of us have become aware of the deliberate, manipulative constructs of the me do ya to shape us into blind, ravaging consumers at the expense of many, to fill the mortal money boxes of the very so many fewer. Okay, now I'm going to start wrapping off by first saying I know nothing about gangsters other than what I see in the media, knowing from experience how the media shapes deliberately how we perceive ourselves in our world. For example, the Ice Bucket Challenge. The participants seem to be having a good time. There's a lot of fun and foolery involved, which is very positive in garnering people's attention, so it helps to support the cause. But the media which follows this also deliberately, I think, distracts our attention from the Sand Bucket Challenge of the Gaza horror reality. Awareness is present, and yet at the same time manipulated by the net of the news. And we really want to keep the net because it's currently our most true source of reality. It's under the radar of a lot of the authority. So, Google Sand Bucket Challenge and take a good look. And if you're not up to date, take a look at the Ice Bucket Challenge too. Let's compare the two. Ice Bucket. Having fun, enthusiastic, a thrill of goodwill. We enjoy seeing our friends, admirables, our rap stars, and celebrities give it up for a change. It's all good. The sand buckets are, however, being blotted from the rest of us, who could help or intervene or even just be aware on behalf of those people who are being crushed and ground down and whom are lucky, if ever, to have a tiny cup of water to drink in that burning fire heat. There is a lot of conspiracy talk regarding the manipulation of the media, and I have seen a lot of validation of that. When my kids were young, we were in a rural community, and I was a little notorious actually as the only mom who liked rap, as in music. Having a rapper kid, maybe that's part of it. But holy, I just loved rap because it's so very intelligent. Street crude, sophisticated manner of storytelling presented in a very creative, interesting, and entertaining way. And I just loved the beats and the bass. At the beginning, I even liked a lot of what became known as gangsta. At least became known that to me. It probably already was to begin with. I really like the uncensored, grounded, real-world forum used by rappers to reveal what life is like for them. And then I could overlook a lot of the disgusting imagery because I wanted to hear the story. Most of the time, really, I didn't know what the words were or what the story was really saying to me. I didn't understand all the language, if I could even make it out at all. And I was pretty much rolling along with the beats and some part of the chorus, maybe just one line, that justified both the song and the rapper. I'm thinking my early intro. Wu-Tang. Wanna get high? Could listen to that drone all day, and boy, there were days I sure did. And the more I heard, the more I came to realize the menace and futility of their world. The ones who grew thwarted in an unforgiving social environment. And that would be a social economic environment, right next door to the dreamers and weavers of the American dream. Think Westworld, which in a practical sense has been our New World concept. You know the saying, we're not all the same? And so it is with rap. There are the progressive rappers who talk about the ghetto life without speaking ghetto. They are modern day street smart activists aiming for solutions. At least that's how I hear them. I was the other day, a little while back, checking out a Jay-Z lyric page. Very impressive, higher level, different, mature, refined propositioning. Maybe a little difficult to understand at times. Then, for example, some other rap lyric pages. Now that aside, and sorry, Jay-Z, I don't mean to hurt your feelings, but I gotta say my big favorite in rap is and always has been Eminem, and believe me, I loved him from the very start. Oh, that girl and her M&Ms. People around me, they couldn't understand it. I really didn't like all the swearing, but that boy had a brilliant bone to chew, and did I ever like it. About a year after he got on the big stage, I was in the car, had the radio on, I just played something by him, and then the announcer announced that some survey agency had reported that Eminem, believe it or not, was the #1 favorite amongst housewives. Like, wow, who knew? Well, our subjects might have been different, but our topics carried the same emotional grind, so it was natural, I guess, for us to feel affinity with our rap of emotional turmoil. Never underestimate the driving force of acknowledgement. As there is usually two sides to every story, maybe more, and that's where rap as a whole has been bagged and filed as shit. Definitely not what these housewives were shopping for. I don't know who administers the other sites, nor do I suggest they are evil ones or even aware of what they are promoting. However, I do affirm my belief that some authors and social media administrators have been groomed by evil forces and are being used as tools to hypnotize in the merchandising of humanity's basic sins as acceptable tenets to allow to continue. The shortchanged sale of humanity is happening across the entertainment industries because we are open to those venues which please us on one hand, and unknowingly, having opened that door, we put ourselves at risk and jeopardy of having the other hand shackled to the bringers of pain and suffering. And that leads all the way back around to the beginning, where in our innocence and ignorance, our energy is being tapped and rerouted into the power of the dark side. Busy at work, always busy at work, to manifest and grow chaos and conflict and death that we as a whole have unthinking righted. As I said, I know nothing of gangsta, rapper business. Gangsta, gangsta, gangsta. And I have gleaned over time a body of violence amongst them. Initially, people don't know when they are used by evil. So how is it being expressed? I've heard and seen a lot of lyrical talk promoting and condoning addictions, sex, drugs, power. And as an open-minded listener, I easily interpret the sex as I hear it. Degradation, abuse, and slavery of women and children. Do you know what fornication means? Do you know that word? Do you know what it really means? Well, I gotta tell you, it means much more than you'll see in Webster's or on any of the modern databases. The word is rooted in ancient God spiritual dogma and refers to out of control, base, lewd as indecent and obscene, preoccupation with flesh and out sex, and was ensconced in the old meanings of God's laws, 7 and 10 of the commandments. There is actually a survival gene biomechanism at play for a while now in our dying world. So the gravitation towards procreation is right now very strong and will become exceedingly so between now and the end of time. I'm pretty sure of that. Although, you never know. Things could change. And that's another story. It may likely have been the case way back in the dizzy days of Sodom and Gomorrah, the two premier sin cities, which, according to the Bible stories, were commanded completely destroyed, with everyone who was in them. And if you dig deep enough through the net, you can find the information. Now, you tell me, bros, if you comprehend the breadth of what you're doing as you look through the experience of your loved ones, families, and children, do you really want them treated like this? Better yet, why don't you put the Cinderella shoe on the other foot and try it on in a girl's fashion? You know, I really have no problem with the weed. It's an excellent medicine. I've been advocating it for anxiety for years, and I've just discovered that it's apparently a awesome cancer cure, but not smoked. And I've seen a lot of rap sugarcoating drug abuse as a preferred lifestyle choice, as well as over-the-top alcohol consumption, which we all know leads to power conflicts and domination. These addictions are manifestations of violence against oneself and disharmony. And there's the game, where more often than not the children who grow enslaved in the ghetto without rights become the oppressors in their own lives. I want to redress the rap community, all of the artists who author or produce lyrics out on the net. It's not hard to find conspiracy theories relating the use of music. The use of the music machine to groom, manipulate, and control the audience. It all makes sense, really, whether the claims are true or false. What is true is that the purveyors of music do have enormous influence on the listeners. And I don't know how many of them are aware of rap slang, wherein some common terms have a much different meaning. In fact, these days, for instance, just for your simplest, lowest case example, the most polite example anyway, a lot of people seem to be okay with being called a bitch, even though this title has not actually been officially redefined in positive terms, not that I know of. And you and I both know that in the rap repertoire, it's all bad. And if you disagree, I'm going to ask that you check yourself by calling your sweetheart and your kid or your kids or anyone dear to you like that, just start calling them that and check it. It's monumentally condescending and carries the full blow of the description already given above. And some of you rap about haters in the same breath. Like, go figure. Now, don't take my word for it. Test it out for yourself. If you want to grow the rap garden, you might want to do some tending and quit breaking the hand that feeds you. Realize you are a product of your environment and be aware of the growth factors you are reseeding. Do or don't. It's really up to you. And please, don't give me the line about the karma and you'll do it next time, because FYI, we are already at the next time. Think of karma as a one-moment microcosm, which exists only later if you neglect to deal with it here. And for as long as you deny and avoid it, we'll be stuck in the same old shit in this moment right here with the whole cohort. Now that's our age range group. It's like your school classroom group, your graduating year, you know, your basic generation. Now, let me explain it to you. Just let's say we pretend that right now, just for right now, literally, I'm the group leader. The entities of the groups travel through time together, and often their changing roles are interfacing time and again. As a group, we are a microcosm. We come and go relatively together, which means no one goes home alone. It's an all or nothing deal. So, aren't you tired of doing the same old thing repeatedly? Because some are putting off till tomorrow what should have been finished yesterday? Let me tell you, sisters and brothers, I am fully worn out already, man. What's it gonna take? It's been 1,000 times already. I'm tired. What's it gonna take? I wanna go home. Do you remember the time? Weren't you just crying your eyes out singing E.T., trying to call home, hoping he'd get there? Well, believe it or not, we're it. And spell that E.T. Oh, come on, let's go. FYI, just like you and me, the evil ones, if not all of them, they play roles that they're assigned. And in the end, like us, will be forgiven and rise to be taken back into the fold, into the original heavenly host spiritual family that's all about evolving. So when you see evil, understand it's not the person, but a spiritual lesson for us to complete. Wow, what? Well, who knows what? It doesn't matter. Just ask the universe for help. In your head even, pay attention and notice the signs that will direct you. They'll show up in order. Follow the lead. Unite. Even have to. If you have to. Step up. Step up to the lead. So why not? Why not consider taking the bull as it is? In shit. By the horns. And if you are already, and I've just lost my note. The signs will direct you. They'll show up in order. Follow the lead. Unite. Even if you have to step up, you might even have to step up to lead. So why not consider taking the bull, as in ship, by the horns? And if you are ready, raise your hand to the one in the sky. Jump up out of your comfort zone. Be smart as you know you are and get moving. If you're getting wind of this and you're understanding it at all and, what have you, take it as a sign. We are in the same group and we as homies. And I'm begging you. I'm really begging you. I really want to go home this time. I'm worn out. I'm tired and I want to get back. Don't you want to get back this time? It may be our last chance. There might not be any comeback for a long time, if at all. If we don't get home together, and remember, it's an all or nothing thing. All is one. We got to go together. We could be lost in chaos and misery spirits forever. And I've already been sacrificed my life to get you to this moment. To get you and 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 all of you. To get you to this moment of truth. Believe you me, your sister is calling out to you today. Oh my God, take me home. We'll never have to return to hell on earth again. When this class graduates, we'll be moving on to better things. We will. Never doubt me. See no evil. Hear no evil. Speak no evil.